Just what are the emotions as the season comes to an end on home ice in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, it's tough. We had a good group, a lot of belief in our group. It doesn't feel right for the season to end like this, but that's hockey. They're a good team over there. A lot of the small things come down to mattering, in these big games. And I thought, we managed the emotions well and the ups and downs, but at the end of the day, we didn't get the results we wanted. So it stings. I feel for our group. Like I said, I thought, we did a lot of big things this year, and, none of us are happy with how it goes. But like I said, at the end of the day, that's hockey.
You guys fight so hard to get home ice. You have it for 2 games to win 1 to advance to the Calder Cup Finals, but you're not able to get there. What are those frustrations like?
Yeah, it's tough. Like you said, it's, we go back to October. We worked hard for that home ice, and to kind of give it away in this, situation and circumstances stings. It's tough. Like I said, they're a good team over there. I didn't think we played bad. I thought we had a good run, battled some adversity, but at the end of the day, like I said, we didn't get it done. At the end of the day, it's on us. Nothing you can do but chew on it all summer, so that one hurts. Feel for our group, but like I said, it just wasn't good enough.
You get your captain back after, a month without him. What kind of boost did that provide, and especially seeing him score that goal late to try and get you back in this?
Yeah, like I said, it definitely provided us a boost. Megs is kind of does everything for us. He's our leader, captain. To see a guy go through something like that, and just kind of the mental grind that he had to go through. He's played so long, and we all respect him so deeply. He's played so many years, so I think that was kind of our big thing, just playing for him as long as we can, trying to get him back. At the end of the day, that hurts even more. He comes back for 1 game, he works his butt off to get back, and kind of let him down, let our group down. But like I said, I don't think he would ever view it that way. He's proud of our group. I'm proud of our group. It just sucks we didn't get the outcome we wanted.
You guys have been through a lot of adversity over the last 2 years. You especially with the incident in San Diego. How do you look back at that and take it in stride?
Yeah, I think that's part of the game. At the end of the day, I don't think there's a single player in this league that's playing pro hockey that hasn't went through adversity. So it's tough, it sucks, but at the end of the day, that's our job. We know the risk of it. That's part of it. Like I said, that's hockey. I think all you can really do is build off that and keep moving forward. If guys are at this level, they've done something right along the way, whether it's chewing on that adversity or dealing with it. So I think that's our big thing for the summer. Just keep pushing.
What were some challenges that came with losing Gagne in this game and navigating your D pairs on the back end?
Yeah, it's obviously tough too. Al's been a hell of a player for us, and he has been all year, so he's rock solid. But it changes a few things, but at the end of the day, it's just hockey. I think Timmy, our D coach, does a great job kind of telling us who's going. Our D, all 5, all 6 have played good. Even Una and Ron that came in throughout playoffs. It's a long season, long year, but losing Al definitely hurts us. But at the end of the day, that's no excuse for us losing the game. It sucks. I feel bad for him. I hope all is well. You just never want to see a player go through that.
Because this is his first full year pro, how does that reflect on the development that he's had this year?
Yeah, I think I think everyone in this room, including coaches, management, everyone's been impressed with him. He's got a good attitude. He's one of those guys that just kind of soaks everything up. He's a sponge on the rink. He learns, he develops, he works hard. So like I said, it sucks. We're all competitors. We all want to play in these big games, big situations, and to lose him, for him to go down in a situation I know it hurts, and he kept trying to push for us. But at the end of the day, if there's some things you can't really work through, and I don't, it's not a knock on him. It's just, it's a pretty bad injury, I think. So I just said I feel bad for him. You just want to compete in these situations. So at the end of the day, I think you just gotta keep moving forward, and I think he's going to be a really good player next year, for us, and he's going to have a long career in hockey.
Cool. Thank you so much for taking your time.